old man proud of you. Forget about the tears on the level. See me eye to eye. Stand up like a man. Even from the other side, on the level. On the level. Never had a choice. Never had a chance. Never had a voice.
Hey everybody! Welcome to another MoGraph podcast. I'm your host, Matt Milstead. Joining me this week, I'm super excited to have him here. Back to the show after probably like 200-something episodes. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It's been a while. Mr. Nick Scarcella.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks.
Very excited to have you here. And on that note, I want to give a big shout out to our universal sponsor, Otoy. You know them, you love them. They are the makers of Octane Render and the Render Network. With Octane Render, you can create super photorealistic renders in a fraction of the time of other render engines. And for that extra little push of power, the Render Network has you covered. They can render your Octane, Redshift, and Blender Cycles frames super fast and way cheaper than a lot of other render networks out there. It's a decentralized render network that is great and helping support the community. It's great. I've met so many render network operators who are also Octane users and stuff. It's pretty cool. So make sure to check them out, rendernetwork.com or otoy.com. Download Octane, give it a try. I love it. I love it a lot. And we Render Royale. I would talk about Render Royale, but it's over. So make sure and stick around. Next week we'll have a new one. Hopefully everyone got their submissions in for Trick or Treat. But yeah, super excited. I hope there's like a turkey theme next month. That'll be fun. So, but we are here to talk to you, Mr. Nick Scarcella, and I'm really excited to talk to you about because so I saw your I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter for some reason the other day, and I saw your post on the Houdini cops stuff that you did, which was so cool. And I was like, I haven't had him on in a while. I need to hit him up. So yeah, super cool stuff. Excited to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. I've been really into cops and all the Houdini updates. The past couple of releases have just been incredible, and I'm still trying to find the time to dig into all the features. Honestly,
yeah,
there's just too much.
21's pretty insane. Like the is it npm stuff? The npm solver stuff, insane and so easy to use. Like that was something that blew me away, is like the ease of use for npm and being able to get like some pretty awesome stuff right off the bat.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a big focus for them, is just like lifting the barrier to entry for a lot of this stuff. It's just so much easier to get into anything. And like, I like how the systems are all working the same way. Like if you learn Vellum, you can basically get into npm, which is like an almost unrelated system, but it functions sort of similarly on the graph. And then cops just makes sense, like right out of the box. I really have no complaints.
Yeah,
I have a couple complaints. But...
Talk to me.
Yeah.
So I have been in, as we were talking earlier before the show, like I've been pushing really heavily, especially on the weekly live streams on Thursdays, to start really getting into Houdini and learning it really well. I broke down about the 2-year indie license, because now working it already been chewed. We're a pretty heavy Houdini pipeline, so I wanted to make sure that as I'm talking to artists, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
I'm not just spouting off BS. But it's been awesome. It's been really fun learning it. There is this really big learning curve for it, and I feel like I've done this 3 times, where I've hopped into Houdini. Like I initially hopped into Houdini to take Mark's, Stop Being Afraid of Houdini course, and then I did it again last year. I spent about a month like learning different Houdini stuff, and I feel like now it's finally stuck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me I don't know, I can't even count how many tries it took to get like actually situated, but I worked at a couple jobs at Possible with Trevor Kerr,
Oh, I love
and
Trevor
he
Kerr.
made
Yeah.
me he like made us just learn it. And ever since then I haven't looked back,
Yeah.
and I don't know why I didn't do it sooner.
You started out in C4D, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Are you still using C4D? Or are you just like totally 100% Houdini now?
I mean, for my personal work, it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly Houdini,
Mm-hmm.
if not all, honestly.
Yeah.
But at FD, we're still very much cinema.
Yeah.
I'm
Future
trying to,
Deluxe for those who don't know FD.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's all right.
Trying to convert as many people as I can, which is why I kind of started making the tutorials, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been teaching a lot more, just kind of stepping into like a TD role at Future Deluxe.
Awesome.
And yeah, I really like it. So it's been, a lot of learnings and kind of just passing on like some knowledge I picked up at like of a lot of the studios I freelanced at
Mm-hmm.
before. And being like in Houdini makes production so much easier that,
Yeah.
everyone who steps into it's like, yeah, we need to just keep doing this.
100%. Yeah.
You really can't beat like the handoff between artists. You
Yeah.
can just see everything that's going on, and like I don't know, for us it's been great, and it's just sort of a seamless process
Do you
there.
ever find that, and this is something that I've wondered because, yeah, you can see the whole node tree and stuff like that,
Yeah.
when I was initially learning After Effects, I realized that I was pretty good at After Effects when I can open up like a templated project and realize everything that they're doing,
Yeah.
but I don't know. For me, I think if I open up someone's project and I just see this massive node tree, my mind just starts to hum.
Sure. Just gotta take a step back.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, let me just trace the dots.
Yeah.
And then like, eventually it can make sense. But at least like, if you get handed a project, or like if you know that the handoffs is gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
you can have someone like annotate like each step,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
comment box, where like in cinema you can to a degree, but
To a
like,
degree. Yeah.
you can't just go back and change something at the top.
Yeah.
I just, once you go procedural, you can't really go back.
Yeah. I will
Uh,
say the procedural nature of it is really nice. Is super
I don't
nice.
even use After Effects anymore.
Oh, yeah?
Basically all in Nuke.
Really?
Yeah, Nuke's been, I think, even bigger for us than Houdini.
Really?
Yeah.
And okay, so you're at Future Deluxe right now. Are you
Yeah.
are you full time, or are you like just a contractor, freelancer?
I've been full time for 2 years.
Nice. Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I freelanced with FD like a bunch of times before that.
Yeah.
For the previous years, but yeah, I've been full time there for the past 2 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how many how big is Future Deluxe? I mean, I know the name, it's one of those names that you just know,
Yeah.
in our industry for sure.
I mean, we have 3 artists in LA. I think 3 in Sydney, and then I say like 20-ish in London.
Wow.
London's the hub for sure.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming y'all are all remote.
We have a studio here.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that we'll go in there.
Yeah.
We go in like 2 days a week.
Okay. That's nice.
Being hybrid's been nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm enjoying that.
Yeah. Okay. So Houdini workflows, cops, like jumping back to that because
Yeah.
like that really blew me away. And for the longest time, or like anytime when I was initially like learning Houdini,
Mm.
cops was just kind of like a throwaway,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, don't worry about cops. But the more and more I see about it, especially with version 21 and like the stuff that you were showing off,
Mm.
it seems super powerful, especially as almost like a post effects, post
Yeah.
processing tool.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm using it. Um, I think it was kind of designed to be this like substance alternative or
Yeah.
like more of a material thing, but like I've used it a little bit for that, but mostly as like post processing and like a finishing tool. Like some of the things that I've requested from them is to have like scopes and meters to be able to see more precisely like what I'm doing, like I can
Mm-hmm.
in Nuke to just like I just want to finish a shot all in one software, you know?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
only need
Yeah.
a couple things. And for the more extreme cases, I would go to Nuke. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been awesome. Like those effects are so fast and like just staying within a context and software that I'm familiar with. There's not once you get past that learning curve,
Yeah.
you're just there,
Yeah.
Like how Houdini works and it's just very thoughtfully laid out. Like they know over the past couple of years we've seen like a couple new like node systems come out, like
Uh-huh.
capsules and
Yeah.
cinema, scene graph, geometry nodes, all that stuff,
Yeah.
where I feel like the flow of data is a little bit hard to understand,
Mm-hmm.
but in cops, like it just makes sense and everything's just there. Like I haven't had any problems with like knowing what nodes are expecting, what kind of input, or like how things are like moving across.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like a bridge between like a Nuke or an After Effects and a Touch Designer
Yeah.
almost. Um, because I've used a little bit of Touch Designer. I'm not an expert by any means, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's really great for adding these kinds of effects, obviously.
Yeah.
And but there's a couple quirks about Touch Designer I'm not crazy about, but like Cops bridges that gap for me
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Um,
When in
yeah.
as far as workflow goes for cops, because I haven't really been in it that much, it doesn't get rendered out first and then the effects are applied, right? It's like almost like a in between to your output. Is that correct?
I mean, the way I'm using it is like I'll render. I mean, there's a couple ways you can use it, right? Like if you're in Solaris or like the USD context, you can
Mm-hmm.
have it just right on top of your render,
Yeah.
like live.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I am in SOPs and I use Redshift for basically everything. So I'll kick out an image or a sequence, I'll
Mm-hmm.
bring it back into Cops and then render it out like as like a separate pass, essentially.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So why choose doing it that way in cops versus like doing it in nuke?
Well, you don't get the same kind of um Nuke is procedural, but
Yes.
it doesn't have the same sort of I guess lower level tools or even like the side effects tools like the tiling options,
Mm-hmm.
all of the noises and stuff. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't get that in Nuke.
Okay.
Um you don't have like a fluid solver just like ready to go. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
that's the sort of thing where that's what excites me, like in compositing, I could have a fluid sim like that like maps back onto my object. That opens up so many doors, you know?
That's interesting. Yeah.
So like Nuke is great as treating like I mean that's for true 3D compositing.
Yeah.
And Cops has become this like creative tool
Mm-hmm.
that also does like I wouldn't even say it's compositing anymore. It's like a new thing. Um, just and it's sort of an in between of like another level of design and finishing.
Interesting. So can you bring in I love that you talked about like doing fluid dynamics and then being able to basically reference those, right? Within
Sure.
your cops directly in order to like how what kind of effects or whatever you would put on top of your render. But can you use it so like I previously worked on a project where we needed to do some transparency stuff in Unreal, and Unreal doesn't handle transparency. At least it didn't back when we were using it very well.
Yeah.
So we almost did this camera projection where it was like you would pull the information that was from the camera and then use that on top of the texture as well. You know,
Mm.
that sounds similar to what you're doing in Cops, where it's like, okay, I'm pulling almost this render data, or I'm pulling all this information and then putting it back into my render.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like you can just start like extracting data and
Mm-hmm.
like manipulating it somehow, or like, like my favorites are just like messing with like the normals and like a UV pass
Mm-hmm.
basically, and just like putting more stuff in that, you know, I love the real-time workflows. They just
Yeah.
haven't been able to get like, I don't know,
It just
that
doesn't look
quality.
as, yeah. It's like it'll get you 90% there, but the 10% is what really like blows you away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so doing this in Cops, you can kind of visualize what you want, and if it's not all the way there, you just kick it out and then run it back through the same render, you know?
Yeah.
Um, like just knowing it works.
Yeah.
Um, I've done that a couple times. But I don't know, man, it just opens up so many like more possibilities for breaking like I like breaking an image, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not just you render the thing and it's done.
Yeah.
It's just a new step that like isn't possible to just do in render, I
Yeah.
guess.
Let's see if I
Um,
can find the
Without going to
video
After Effects.
of,
But
yeah, I've got this here. So like this
oh
is
yeah,
kind of what you're doing with the whole setup, where you're
right.
bringing the original render in and then uh messing with the UV map in order to change the distortion. Is that what it is?
So that UV map is just telling the distortion what direction to move in.
Oh, rad. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, and there you can just like dial it in. Whereas like, that would be impossible to do in render. Like not impossible, but like it
yeah.
would take a lot of work to do that in render, you know? Like you can
Yeah.
mess with the aspect ratio of the bokeh or whatever, but like this gets you so close to that same result and you can change it and animate it like in real time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
And how fast? Yeah, I mean, you said in real time. Is it basically so once you've already done your render, is it basically running in real time while you're making all these changes and stuff? Or does it have a little bit of a issue because it's also having to pull information from the original sim?
no, it's doing it in real time. I mean, I'm manipulating it right here.
Yeah.
Like it's really
What about
fast.
as far as playback, I mean, you know?
Oh, it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Like once you start pulling out a lot more of these passes, it might slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like, based on your network speed and whatever, like, that changes. But I've noticed, especially with like the solvers, it's crazy fast.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Talk to me. So you said Future Deluxe is still using Cinema pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Are they using any other software like Maya or anything like that, or is it mostly just a Houdini C40 pipeline?
Yeah,
Or are you the only one using Houdini?
no, there's a lot of like amazing Houdini artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like most people can use Houdini,
Uh huh.
and then like, a couple of people like can really use it. Um, but yeah, we're mostly like Houdini Cinema, and then there's like a crowd of like just After Effects people, and then like more and more are getting into Nuke.
Okay.
Um, a lot of touch designer.
Interesting.
Um, yeah,
So
a
what's
lot of
the
touch designer.
majority of the work that you're doing over there? You know, because you're talking After Effects, Nuke, Houdini, Cinema, touch designers like live events and stuff like that. What all? I mean, I
Uh,
guess it doesn't have to be, but
no, I mean it's just another image processing tool,
uh huh.
Um, I mean, like before cops, like I don't know what else you would do this type of feedback in, like
Yeah,
feedback effects, like
yeah,
or just like time-based video effects. Because like I don't know if you can even do that in After Effects, like without tons of plugins.
yeah,
But it's like another way to just break an image.
yeah,
And it's also running in real time, which is
yeah,
nice. But yeah, I used like Notch a little bit.
yeah.
Um,
How'd you feel about that? We've got
Notch.
them. Yeah, we've got them on the show in January. We're doing
Oh,
a show with
nice.
them, and then we're gonna do a live stream with them on one of our Thursday night live streams. So I talked to the guys at Notch while I was at Half Res a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
they seemed super nice. One of them was based
Yeah.
here in Dallas. I had no idea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
No, it's been in my radar for a while. But I've seen some updates from them recently that are incredible.
yeah,
And like I think they have the right idea about the kinds of workflows that I like, and just knowing like what my color management is,
yeah.
and just sort of the basics that like Touch Designer doesn't have a color space.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever you throw in is whatever it outputs,
Yeah,
basically. And it breaks my brain to think about. But in Notch, it's all there. It seems like very much production focused. I know like a lot of people use their interchange format
mm-hmm.
for like large scale video stuff, and they're on the I don't know. I love that they're making their own way there, and
Yeah,
the 3D system looks great. Um, yeah, I definitely want to get into it more.
yeah. Same. How's the workflow between the C4D and Houdini artists? Have you? Because I know me personally, it's like if we can stay in Houdini for the entire project, I'm gonna
Yeah,
push for that every time. You know,
yeah,
versus having to bring stuff over to port stuff to C4D. It feels like an extra unnecessary step, you
for sure.
know. How do y'all handle that at Future Deluxe? And or is it all just we have our own shots, we do our own Houdini stuff, or what?
Yeah, so like, I think good example would be like the Sonos Dune spot
Hmm.
we did,
Oh
I think
yes,
last year.
yeah.
Like,
It's like the hold on, I'm gonna find it because it was fantastic. I've got your website up.
right on.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's the Sonos Arc Ultra. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Go on.
But basically, like, yeah, so the living room was all made in cinema,
Uh huh.
and then when it came time to do like all these sand sims and everything, like obviously those are gonna happen in Houdini, right?
Yeah.
So
Especially because there
instead
was
of
no
like,
particles back then in C4D.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how you'd get this level of control there
Yeah.
even now, but um, like I knew I just wanted to finish this whole thing in Houdini, and like since the living room's like pretty static,
Mm-hmm.
we just had like one master file that kept the living room in check
Yeah.
from cinema, and just exported a proxy that would go into all of the Houdini scenes.
Was it a Redshift
And
proxy that you were
yeah,
exporting
Redshift
out? Okay.
proxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Redshift is our go between cinema and Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
Both ways. Um,
So
And we
anything
use
you're
Redshift proxies a ton.
exporting, anything you're exporting from Cinema, you do a Redshift proxy. Anything you're bringing into, and now correct me if I'm wrong, Redshift proxies don't allow you to have the geometry information in order to do like dynamics and stuff. Is that or is that only from Houdini to C4D?
Maybe that's just from Houdini to Cinema 4D, but like you can just um God, what's the word? Like make it editable and it just saves the
Yeah,
geo.
but it
But
doesn't
yeah,
like, at least in C4D, it doesn't do it one to one. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like it's almost like it bakes down a low, or at least that's what I've experienced. You know?
right. It definitely loses some attributes for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I don't know if it's perfect, but for the purposes of these shots, it was totally fine.
yeah,
And then like whatever collider objects we needed a little bit more data on, we just export an FBX for the sim guys.
cool.
But for this scene, like all the lighting and everything came from Cinema.
Oh,
And so it's
okay.
just one big Redshift. Like we didn't want to change anything,
Yeah,
Like, Brian and Martin did such a good job with this room that I was like, okay, like I need to bring this in Houdini, but I don't want anything to change.
yeah.
So like I just exported the entire thing in one shot and like it was fine. Um,
It's
and then all of
gorgeous.
the things they did an amazing job with the design, and then basically like everyone designed all their separate parts, and then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of brought all the stuff in into
Uh,
and did
it
the
says Future
production.
Deluxe on the book.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
there's some Easter eggs in there
Yeah.
for anyone who's looking. But yeah, I tried to hide a lot. But yeah, it was pretty seamless, and then it keeps the scene super light. And that's kind of the workflow for everything. Like anything that is static or can be static
Hmm.
throughout any shot is a Redshift proxy.
Awesome.
Um,
Now, are y'all workflow wise, are y'all rendering all locally, or are you sending to farms and stuff like that? I'm curious because the problems that I've encountered with Redshift proxies, especially using the C4D Houdini pipeline or whatever, is that once you hit proxies within proxies and stuff like that, it's like it's all out the window. You can't use a farm anymore because
oh yeah,
C4D doesn't allow you to change the locations of those proxies within the proxies and stuff like that.
yeah. Uh, we don't use any external farms
Yeah.
for that reason. Yeah, it's really a shame, but yeah, we have a pretty good sized farm. We've recently like kind of enabled it to where we can render globally.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out in LA and London specifically because we're almost on completely opposite hours.
Yeah.
So we'll get to use all the London machines when they're asleep and vice
Yeah.
versa. So
Or
that works out pretty
they
well.
fill it full of stuff right before bed, and then you guys come in and it's like, come on, London team, we got to render here.
No, and then I jump them in priority because they can't do anything about it.
That's funny. That's
But
funny.
no, it works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do everything locally, and then it's all through Deadline.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about Deadline's end of life that's coming? Have you heard of that?
That's news to me.
Okay. Yeah, so apparently in November, Amazon is just going to put it at, minor updates, but no big full, like basically security updates only,
Right. Well, seems like we've been there for a while then, because like nothing gets updated really.
Yeah.
Like I had to. So, I've been playing around with Blender a lot,
Yeah.
and I like it,
Yeah.
but the Deadline submitter is terrible.
Oh,
And I
really?
basically like I made a plugin that replicates like render tokens
Okay.
because Blender doesn't ship with that,
Oh, okay.
and
Like
I
tokens, not
can't.
not render tokens like Otoy render foundation tokens, but not like
No,
tokens, the token system. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like output variables,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever. Um, every other software ships with that. And
Yeah.
like I can't, not have that.
Uh-huh.
So I basically made a workaround, but like Blender like evaluates everything into absolute paths when you go to render on the command line, and it's just this whole thing. But I also had to like rewrite the deadline submitter so
Yeah.
that it would accept scenes, because Blender
Oh,
has no real like take management.
interesting.
Like you have to do it through the scene system, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. So like I had to add a field to specify the scene that you want to render.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't know, like when I work on like either in Houdini or Cinema, I like to keep everything. I like to use as few of files as possible,
Sure.
basically.
Yeah.
And like I use takes like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And in Houdini, it's just like there you'll see like 20 ROPs in my files of just
Yeah.
like, you know, adding and subtracting different objects. I like to keep it all kind of like contained.
Uh-huh.
But Blender really doesn't have a great system for that. And especially like through the deadline submitter, like it's just so basic
Mm-hmm.
that I had to like rewrite it to enable like scenes essentially. I don't know how that
Yeah.
was overlooked.
I
But
wonder if it's more because Blender might be seen more in our industry as and don't hate me on this, Blender people. Like I support Blender, but almost is seen as like a hobbyist type thing,
for sure.
instead of like studios are using it and stuff. Like no, I'm not bad mouthing Blender. I hate that argument. I mean, but it's like,
Yeah,
they won an Oscar. There's obviously people using it,
for sure.
and but I don't know any specific studios that are 100% Blender, you know,
I
or
mean, I don't
like
think anyone can be really. Uh
yeah,
like or if they even should. I mean, at FD like we'll use any tool. Like
same,
whatever
yeah,
gets the job done, and that's kind of like the output's what we're after. It doesn't matter how
yeah,
we get there. It's like kind of my philosophy. But like no render tokens or output variables really like makes that stigma stick, you
yeah,
know? Like that's kind of crazy.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there's like a couple things like that that drive me nuts in Blender. But there's so many great artists out there that I was like, okay, like this is something that I want to get into because like I want to pull some of these people onto projects, but like right now, if you have, I don't know, the add-on system is sort of it's great, and I think it's also one of Blender's biggest like downsides, honestly, or
yeah,
like what's holding it back.
yeah,
Because like you can't, I don't know anyone who uses vanilla Blender.
yeah.
Like they have, I don't know how many add-ons, and
Uh-huh.
then they all work a little bit differently, and like if you're running a studio trying to manage like all of those add-ons, like it gets like totally
Yeah.
unreasonable. And like they added, the environment variables so you can manage a studio a bit better, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I think there needs to be a couple more core features before like I would say at FD like we need to start getting some Blender folks in here.
Yeah.
And like rewriting the deadline submitter is like a part of that.
Yeah.
Like, it has to work within a pipeline that basically everyone else uses.
Yeah. 100%.
And be fully featured, have
Yeah.
output tokens, and like, because we need to keep this naming consistent,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But otherwise, I think it's super cool, and I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah. See, for me, it's like I've jumped so much into Houdini lately, and then
Yeah,
it's like, with I'm not sure. Do you use mops at all?
sure.
Okay. Yeah, so like with I have recently gotten into mops, cuz I
Yeah.
figure, it's a gateway drug into
Oh
Houdini,
yeah,
and
it's
especially
awesome.
knowing cinema so well, it's basically like second nature. But it's
Yeah,
like, okay, I've got all my MoGraph tools now in Houdini, you know.
right.
The only other reason that I would use cinema is to model, and
Mhm.
it's like I've heard that the modeling in Blender is actually a whole lot better, you know, And it's like then my texturing, lighting, scene, building it would all be in Houdini, you know,
Sure.
keeping that as into one place as possible without having to jump in between, for me
Yeah.
it'd be like I want to do a Blender Houdini pipeline, even though that's not what necessarily what we do at ABC.
Yeah.
Like we've got guys who do modeling and texturing, and they'll do it in Blender, and then we'll bring it into C4D, or we'll hand it over to Houdini artists and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
we'll start building stuff in they'll build stuff in C4D, bring it over to or build it in Blender, bring it over to C4D, and then we'll have Houdini guys who bring over those and then bring them into C4D, and it's just like a big project. It becomes a big project,
Yeah.
you
Sure.
know?
No, I mean,
Uh,
no one tool does it all. And I think it like for me, like I like Blender because it artistically like sparks something different.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't really judge it like on quality of output because anything can output like amazing
Yeah.
renders.
Yeah.
Like that part's easy, but it's like how you put things together is very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Blender because there's those add-ons where you can just like there's one called transportation, which just you can start dropping like cars and boats and like all of these things, like millions of different like vehicles and whatever
Mm-hmm.
and road builders and stuff. You know how long it takes to set up a car in Houdini?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Right.
Whereas like with an add-on, you can just boom, car,
Yeah.
texture, done.
Yeah.
Like I can just render this thing now.
Yeah.
And it's just so much faster to get to like an awesome result. Um, when I mean within certain constraints.
Yeah.
Like I don't touch geometry nodes. Like for me,
Yeah.
that's like the wrong. That's not why I'm there. Because
Yeah.
I'll use Houdini, which is infinitely better
Yeah.
at that kind of thing.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
like, I'm there to like push and pull in the viewport as much as possible. I'm not even looking at the object manager, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not typing a lot except for all the stupid shortcuts.
Yeah.
But like but yeah, it like sparks like a different way of thinking about like setting up a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just worried about like what am I seeing through the camera right now? And I can just get there like really quick.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing pitches in there.
Uh-huh.
Like when I just need like something very fast. I
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what I want. Especially like bringing in models like you can drop in an FBX and it has you don't have to do like material conversion or like anything weird. It's just it all is like natively working, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Or if I just want a bunch of plants, there's an add-on for that.
Yeah.
As long as you're kind of working siloed off, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And are you rendering out of cycles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Eevee even? Yeah.
I find kind of the same artifacts in Eevee is like why I don't really use Unreal.
Yeah.
Like things just get a little flickery or like I don't know, the edges of things just don't mesh
Mm-hmm.
extremely well. But Cycles is super fast and it looks great.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any problems with like quality there.
It's interesting
But
talking about the add-ons and stuff, because I feel like
Mhm.
that is a huge boon for Blender, is that it's almost like they took the After Effects route of things, where it's like,
Right.
here's your assembler. If there's anything
Yeah.
extra you want to do with it, people are developing stuff for it every day.
Yeah, I guess like my freelancer brain is still saying like I would only ever learn software that I know I could walk into any studio and it'd be there.
Yeah.
Like I can't get used to something that like I'm not going to have access to
Yeah.
basically anywhere I go to
Yeah.
work on something.
Yeah,
and
you're not
that's
going to
just
learn
sort of been,
Lightwave
like,
so that you can go to some other studio. Yeah.
right. Exactly. But
Nothing
like
against
with
Lightwave.
Blender, yeah, totally. I mean, it's just with Blender, it's sort of a problem
Yeah.
where like so much of like what people love about it is sort of based on these add-ons.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't really bank on a studio having it or like
Yeah.
a team that you're working with or whatever because I don't know, like for solo projects or whatever, like that's, fair game. But
Yeah.
I've wanted to bring it into FD for a while, but like I don't know how to do that without 50 add-ons.
Yeah. And and then it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. You've paid for the add-on once for yourself, but then
Right.
you want to go to Deadline. Now we're talking about the same add-on for multiple nodes and stuff like that, and then it becomes while Blender is free, it
Yeah.
still becomes exponentially more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, there's sort of that hidden like gotcha there.
Yeah.
But obviously they're making incredible development, and like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a standard. If like for people who ask me like how do they get into 3D now, I point them to Blender.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah. Same.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't really ignore it anymore. But it's fantastic for just jumping in and making something without like thinking about a node tree,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't want to worry about simulation. I just want to put spheres on planes and render it, and
Yeah.
it's okay. You know?
Yeah. With the new scatter tools they've got, it's pretty good. You could
Yeah,
easily
yeah.
put spheres on planes.
So many spheres. Um, yeah, it's basically what I'm about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about some of the work that you've been doing lately. You just finished up a big project. I don't know if we can talk about it. If not, tell me we can't talk
Yeah.
about it.
No, FD just posted it today. We've been doing like this giant campaign for Peloton,
Uh huh.
um, rendering all of their products for the next year, like all the e-commerce and a bunch of films that I think will be rolling out over the next couple weeks, which is awesome. There's so many people that touched it and put in a lot of work.
Uh huh.
And I was the TD on the project
That's
and kind of
awesome.
responsible for, yeah, it was great. But I was kind of responsible for getting the products like modeled out,
Mm-hmm.
textured, and then pushed out to the rest of the team.
Okay.
So the
And are
team
you
in
modeling
LA
them
kind of
yourselves, or
handled
are
that.
you
No,
outsourcing
no,
that?
no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple modelers we work with. Some are in Blender.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like we'll model pieces at a time and work it into the system because we just got a bunch of CADs for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So would
but
you,
yeah, the
getting those
whole
CAD files, would you then topologize and everything and
yeah.
rebuild them, or would you use those as reference to just basically start from scratch?
Oh no, it was all reference. I mean, it had to be so precise.
Yeah.
Like I had just so many calls with their ID guy about, what's this supposed to look like and how, the textures are supposed to map on, and it all had to be it was very precise.
Yeah.
Like we get very close in some of these products. So,
Yeah.
um, it really needed to be true to life.
Yeah.
Um, so all that's retopoed, and then it was sort of like the Dune project where there's a master file for each product,
Mm-hmm.
and then like subgroups within that file. And then we would export Redshift proxies of like, if you're just taking the bike, like the pedals,
Mm-hmm.
the screen, whatever else like needs to move.
Yeah.
Those would all get separate proxies. And then you bring that into another file where we build out like a rig of like nulls and those proxies. And so you're and then like a controller to move everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then that gets XREF'd into all of the production
Ooh.
files.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
it's all very
Redshift
nested,
files
but
inside of XRefs and stuff.
yeah.
Wow. So,
But it worked beautifully.
jeez.
I mean, we were able to make like, updates because this had to roll out across like, I don't know how many time zones
Uh huh.
that people were working on this in. And like, we couldn't always be there to like fix something or update it, like, or I guess rather like coordinate like getting an updated model into everyone's scene.
Yeah.
So instead, it's like if you imported the XREF, you just get the updates, you
Yeah.
know? And so
Yeah.
as we're building the ship, like it's going into everyone's files,
That's
and then if
super
someone was
nice.
like, yeah, so like on the rower, like someone was like, hey, can I get a controller to move um, I just want to move the seat
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. it was like, okay, cool. Like the next day, that gets updated and rolled out, and they open that same scene, and they have a new slider, like on the controller that's like move the seat, boom.
So, but that wouldn't update the Redshift proxy, would it? Or like,
Well, it doesn't matter. Like to the artist, it doesn't matter.
uh huh.
Like all they see is the controller. But like, we can like throughout the project, like as new things came up,
Mm-hmm.
we could split the proxies up into like more and more parts as needed
Okay.
to like make the rig
Uh
more
huh.
flexible, you know?
Uh huh.
Um, like
But
there's
would
a
you?
phone tray on the bikes that gets turned on and off constantly. So like that just gets like a checkbox, like depending on like what trim you're on. Like, you could either select a drop down or like inside of that, there's like different like customized. It's like we made like a build your own bike thing,
Mm-hmm.
made up of like all the Redshift proxies. So whatever like trim you needed, you could basically build it there. But it's made to be like super artist friendly.
Yeah. So
It doesn't need
every
explanation because
single
I'm literally not
object
there.
is a Redshift proxy.
Yeah.
Anything that's animated, is it animated inside of the Redshift proxy, or are you animating the Redshift proxy?
You're animating a one null basically
Uh
has
huh.
like all the controls that like we would expect to animate.
Oh,
So like the
okay.
pedal, like moving the pedals, we built like a look at target for like where the pedals are supposed to actually be because they stay angled.
Yeah, yeah,
And so like there's a target, but each pedal is a redshift proxy, and so is like the gears and everything,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they all move based on like a controller. So like a bunch
Interesting.
of different sliders.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So like all the artists have to do is import this XREF, and then like there's an animation controller right at the top, and like that's all you need to look at,
That's pretty
and
cool.
then yeah, so then if they have a request like I don't know, there's so many different things that popped up. Like, hey, can I remove the weights from the back of the bike?
Yeah,
Sure. Like we split out that proxy and then add like a checkbox, like do you want weights on or off?
yeah,
So then like, and when I say that, I mean like mainly like the artists in London were like doing a lot of the animation.
yeah.
And so they would
So
like give us a bunch of requests and then
everything
we
is
do
Redshift proxies, and then you just built
everything.
like a user system. I'm assuming you're doing it, rendering or this whole master project's in C4D, or is it in Houdini?
No, this whole project was in cinema
Yeah.
because a lot of the animation was happening there.
So just a lot of user data in like a giant null or something like that, right? Where it's like, okay, so this is
Exactly.
this bike, this is this thing, this is this one, and then you've got sliders and controllers and checkboxes. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah. It
cool.
worked out great.
How do you
Um,
how do you keep track of all that stuff across multiple projects though? Like, is there one master
yeah.
project that everyone is pulling from? It's like, okay, you need to animate, you click on the things that you need, and stuff, or so it would still be importing every single Redshift proxy even though you're not using it.
It would be by product.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so
So
we
if
had
you're
one for
adding
like the
in like
bike, the
all the
treadmill,
products
or
together, you'd bring in
yeah,
multiple projects. Yeah.
you bring in multiple XREFs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
And
XRefs.
then
Can you
yeah, yeah.
control like user data and stuff in XRefs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, so you can animate like
All right.
we build
Plus
like a
one
rig
one
of
for Maxon on
proxies.
there. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
It's
no,
their new
like
XRef system, right?
I don't know about new, but
I feel like
it
they
seems
I think they
fine.
did some updates just recently to the XRef system.
I remember seeing something about maybe it was stability because
Mm-hmm.
like it was mostly fine. Like there were only a couple of times where like it maybe lost track of a material somewhere or
Yeah.
like um there's a couple objects that just had to be geo like
Mm-hmm.
the like on the treadmills like the revolving tracks and stuff like some of that had just like out of necessity like if it had to like curve around it had to be
Yeah.
geo and like sometimes like that would lose it but like all the proxies held up fine all the animation rigs like held up through updates so like you could add a new slider and it wouldn't break the previous one.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that, a lot of espresso logic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how you would, because this project had I'd say close to 600 deliverables. So I can't update that many projects,
Yeah.
like especially with people that I don't have any kind of communication with who are on the other side of the planet,
Yeah.
you know? So this has to be a foolproof system where anybody could just jump in. Like I made a guide that we use Milanote for everything.
Uh-huh.
And so I just built like, here's how you import an XREF and here's how they work in our system. Like just look here for all your animation needs, and basically that's it.
Yeah.
It's made to be designed in a way to where you don't need to do any explanations.
Man.
Um, yeah, so that was fun.
Maybe this Thursday we're gonna try out XRefs and see if we can animate
It
this
worked.
stuff.
It worked for us this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I've had mixed, results in the past, but like
Mm-hmm.
if there was ever a stress test, this was it.
That's super
And
interesting.
it passed,
Yeah.
especially since you can animate the user data and everything.
Yeah.
That made it invaluable, like just
And
because like on some of
I'm
them,
assuming
sorry.
it, I mean, not only does it make it great because you can update all your files, you can have someone externally updating the files as you're doing it, you
Yeah.
know, but does it save on size using those XRefs as well? Like
Uh,
VRAM usage and stuff? Or is that only saved because of the Redshift proxies?
yeah, I think any like savings would come from the Redshift proxies.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
also had like, turn it on the viewport on and off, the
That's
displays, like,
nice.
all that stuff. Just because I wanted to make the scenes like as lightweight as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because when all was said and done, this project is probably close to 55, 60 terabytes,
Oh,
which is insane.
wow.
We went through two different servers to try and like get this thing done. Um,
Wow.
so the scenes themselves couldn't be 11 gigs. Like the
Yeah.
models themselves are 11 gigs.
Wow.
It's crazy. And so we need, you need to leverage proxies in order to like get this thing done and like, have a scene that doesn't just take 20 minutes to open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, the viewport's off by default. And then, if you need to see it, you can. Um, but we tried to retopo in a way to like make these like more performant, but
Mm-hmm.
like, at some point there is just, especially when you have like the family shots where of like all the products together, like
Yeah.
it builds up, it
Yeah.
gets really, really heavy. So I basically leverage proxies whenever I can. Even like on the Sonos stuff, all of the Sims were proxied out, and then like I worked on the materials and everything
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
Man.
Um, but yeah, everything gets proxied. Everything.
And so, wow, that's crazy. So, trying to think of my question here because that's,
But it's nice because then you can just work, like you don't have to
yeah.
worry about like I went in and to light a bunch of scenes later, and it's just great to like not worry about. I can even touch the materials. It
Yeah.
just those are the materials,
Yeah.
and we know they're right.
Yeah.
Like those have been like signed off. So if it looks bad, it means your lighting's wrong. Like
Yeah.
that's basically like these products are like the ground truth, and if it doesn't look right, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
And that makes it to where you can have consistency amongst 35 artists or whatever it was in the
Yeah.
end. Like the products are right, and you're importing something you have no control over, and but like that's sort of by design.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's not made to be inflexible, but just you can light and animate and go ahead and don't worry
Yeah.
about
It's
like
kind of
you
making it
know
idiot proof,
yeah,
like
to a degree,
to a
like that's
degree.
the
Yeah.
idea. But it just like anytime, like what we've noticed over the past 2 years is that anytime we have a good asset, things just go better.
Yeah.
Like we've learned to take a lot more time because we do a lot of product stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the emphasis is just going into getting the products right at the start.
Yeah.
Um, if we're doing shoes, like we're gonna find like the best shoe modelers and like the best texturing we can possibly get up front, and then everyone just goes to town animating.
Yeah.
And then, again, like if the lighting looks bad or if the shoe doesn't look right, like that's totally on you
Yeah.
because we know this looks good,
Yeah.
and it's not just like there's no cheat codes,
Yeah.
like all the effort has to go into this asset, and then it's easy.
Yeah.
Most of these are just one HDRI.
Yeah. I do love the idea of like basically not having any geo at all. It's all just
It's so
Redshift
good.
proxies, and anything that's animated
Yeah.
is, separate or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
only
We just
imagine
as
how
we
much time that can save, even just opening a project. I know last year
Yeah,
I had this one project that I was working on, and it would take me 20 minutes literally just to open the project,
for
because
sure.
it was all geo and stuff like that. It wasn't proxied or anything. And yeah, oh
Well,
boy.
yeah, I mean, we do like the same thing. Like, we did a Pepsi job. Like, that was one of the first things I worked on at FD.
Mm-hmm.
It was this giant campaign for Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
And even just dealing with a can and a bottle,
Yeah.
like that was all done in Houdini. And I made two different HDAs for the can
Mm-hmm.
and the bottle that had like the different condensations, uh, different labels,
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. And you just like import an HDA, that thing gets updated, um,
And is an
constantly.
HDA similar to an XREF?
Yeah, so inside, think about it like a Houdini node that can basically hold anything inside of it
Yeah.
and can be updated.
Mm-hmm.
So I can push an update to the HDA from any project,
Mm-hmm.
and that will get rolled out to anyone who's importing that HDA.
Interesting.
It's almost like a sub network of like whatever you want inside. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, it was cans with controllers inside of the materials for the different labels. You could turn the condensation off and on, and like if you needed it to like have a sim that was in there, you could switch to it.
Yeah.
But then, oh, guess what? The artwork changed. That update just gets rolled out
Yeah.
instantly to all the projects, and you could just requeue them on deadline
Yeah.
because it'll just pull like the latest file. So like, we don't always have someone for every shot. Like a lot of
Yeah.
times, like if we're doing a film, I'll be doing half or all the shots myself.
Yeah.
Like at that stage, to where like I need a way to save time.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if I'm like on this job, I'm making an asset that goes to people who I have no communication with, who are on the
Yeah.
other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I can't talk to them and explain like, oh, you actually want this label for that shot, or like if you want that label, like the texture file is like in all of these subfolders. Like,
Yeah.
no, 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 I don't want to deal with any of that. Just drop down. Like if you want cherry diet or Pepsi Zero, whatever it is, like there's a drop down. Just
Yeah.
click it,
Yeah.
and it does the thing.
How do you manage proxies within proxies though? Like, do you have, because I've found that is one problem that I've run into before, is where I'll have a proxy that's referencing something from like another project or something, and I'll bring that in, and it's like, oh no, I need to make a change to the proxy within the proxy, you
Sure.
know. I don't know where that file is because C4D doesn't tell you where the location of the proxy within the proxy is.
Yeah.
Is that an
No.
organizational thing within your projects and stuff?
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I'm a pretty big stickler for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it has to be organized correctly. Um, we're never working in a silo.
Yeah.
Like it's always a team, and you don't know if like a project's gonna get handed off to someone else, or
Yeah.
if we're gonna need to package this up to send it to whoever,
Yeah.
So like there needs to be like a method to the madness, and like we're never really pulling things from one project to another, like you're copying it in.
Yeah.
And everything like mostly stays contained within like the project, like the master kind of project file.
Uh-huh.
And I've sort of like over the past couple of years been building out FD's like global asset library
Mm-hmm.
because it just didn't have one.
Yeah.
Um, populating it with like, here are textures that we can actually use and that don't suck.
Yeah.
And,
What are you using
here's where things are
for
fixed.
that type of management system? Like, are you using an internal tool, or is it just like, oh, here's a Google Doc with a reference list and stuff like that? Or
It's all just in folders, really.
yeah, okay.
There's not really like we don't have a pipeline tool. Many people have tried, all
Yeah.
have failed. But it's not that hard. It's just like getting it. It just takes time to like vet everything and like make sure we're good to go. Because a lot of times, someone will download something from TurboSquid
Yeah.
for a project and then it just stays there and then like
Yeah, or sits in their download folder.
exactly, so it's just like hey, like that actually would be great to use in another project. Why don't we put it in like a centralized location where
Yeah.
like, anyone could grab that thing. And
Yeah.
then we've done the same thing with like cool Houdini setups, uh, like my cops thing, like that
Yeah.
goes into like a Houdini folder. Like I made like an overscan camera for cinema
Uh-huh.
where you
Oh.
like you make it a child of like your original camera, and then there's
Yeah.
just like an overscan amount,
That's
like
cool.
whatever you want, and then it'll do like the math to figure out,
Yeah, and it'll
what the
automatically,
overscan
I'm
is.
assuming it'll automatically update like the size of your render as well
Yeah.
as like the lens and everything that needs to fit within. Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
super
so it's
cool.
keeping the same image, so that lives in one place where like, you're gonna want to copy that into many projects.
Yeah.
So that just stays somewhere where you can kind of like grab it, and like I encourage anyone to just keep a library of all your setups because you just never know
Yeah.
when something's gonna like, you know, come back, or you want to reference that thing.
Dude.
We try to stay pretty on top of that.
Yeah. Content management software. You just gave me a good idea for a plugin for
Yeah.
software.
Yeah,
I've
man,
been vibe
it's
coding lately in Chat GPT, and
me too.
it's pretty. I will say for the past 2 days. So I've been trying to. This is completely off subject, but like I've been trying to build out, use like a comfy UI setup or something,
Mhm.
and to where I can in C4D. Use Python code in order to like add tags to different objects and say, okay, I want this to have like a grass texture, this to have a cement texture, and then
Oh,
it
cool.
will pull information or run it through some sort of comfy UI system
Yeah.
and then create those textures for me,
Right.
as like a just like, hey, I just need to throw something together really quick, click, 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 go, and then it just starts populating it, and then I can just really quick
Yeah.
make an animatic or something like that, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I've
that's
been
awesome.
I've been using ChatGPT. It's like, okay, because I know no coding, I know no Python. And
Mm.
it's like, I would like to do this. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love how positive ChatGPT is too.
Sure.
It's like, oh yeah, you're doing
Very
a great
encouraging.
job. You're like
Yeah.
90% there. We're almost there. It's like, okay, well here's the error.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I totally get it. Thanks for showing me that. It's like, oh thanks ChatGPT. I feel like I'm doing a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's actually I don't use really any AI for image generation, but the coding
Uh huh.
in scripting has been huge, huge.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know if you've seen Cursor.
Cursor.
Um, so Cursor is like an IDE, like a coding environment
Uh huh.
where the AI is just very integrated.
Oh.
So you can just
Okay.
chat with your code base instead of going back and forth between like the web browser, ChatGPT,
Oh.
and your
Okay.
code. You can just do it directly in line. I've been using that instead of any like web browser AI really. Um, and yeah, I've been getting into coding a lot because of AI actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've built a lot of stuff for Houdini, um, like out of Cursor and like ChatGPT and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like we were having a problem where one day our farm just started messing up,
Uh huh.
and like it would spit out like so many bad frames, and there was no like rhyme or reason that we could find, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like while I was kind of waiting on IT to like figure it out, I was like, okay, like I need a script that will look at all of these files and like analyze the frames to
Yeah.
look for like black pixels or like any like bad data,
Interesting.
and just go through like all of these image sequences and like just find me the frames that I need to requeue and just tell me a frame list that I could give to
Wow,
like
that's
deadline. And it's
cool.
like, boom, just like solve this problem. Like I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
like it's taking forever to like just, arrow through like, all of these sequences to find like bad frames to requeue. So it's like, okay, like make a tool to do this. And just a lot of little things like that, you know?
That's
Like
interesting. See, that's
reorganize
the
my
type of
folder.
stuff. That's the type of stuff that I think AI is going to be great for.
Yeah,
That's the type of stuff that I want. It's like that's the future. That's the Star Trek future. Where
right.
you're like, computer, I would like to accomplish this. How do I do this? Let's like work on this together. Versus
Yeah,
like, hey, let's create funny videos of Sam Altman dressed like a cat. You know,
yeah.
or
We already have enough slop.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I just made Nick upset.
No, no, no. I can appreciate some good slop. It's just,
Right.
you know, there's some better use cases out there for burning lots of power and tokens.
Right.
Like I've had this little pet project that I've been using Cursor for. It's like a site. It's called rendertime.io,
Okay.
and it's just like a little tools that I've been building out for myself. Like I noticed that a lot of like render time calculators
Here we
don't
go.
have a space for, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just two tools right now.
Time to
But
render each frame. Okay.
so it's just a render calculator, but it has space for file size. Because like on this job that we were getting up to like, since once we hit 30 terabytes, I was like, okay, I need to know how much, like I know what the deliverables are now
Okay.
and how much space each sequence is taking. Like I need to let IT know how much space this job's going to take because we're running out of server space.
Interesting.
So it's like,
Okay.
okay, like now I have a tool where I can like gauge
Yeah.
everything I need to know about this, like what we're doing.
Yeah. Here'd be an interesting
Um,
change, because
mm,
I work with Deadline as well,
yeah,
and could all the computers that you're using don't necessarily have the exact same time. It's like
yeah,
this one may render 20 minutes, this one may render. What would be cool is
right.
being able to build out a database of every single computer, what their
Uh-huh,
Octane bench score is,
right.
and then adjust, say, okay, this one computer that we know what its Octane bench score is
Mm,
this long. Tell me what it would be
right.
on my network,
Yeah.
using all those computers.
So you could build out
Yeah, it's like
like your
here's
fleet.
you just have to say it for this one computer. Like I know my computer takes me, 20
Yeah.
minutes to render it out. Tell me what it
Mm,
would be on my farm. Like here's the
yeah.
list of all of my stuff. What would it take if I was using everything? And then you could have a click box of, okay, I don't need this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Now how much?
Right.
When will it
Yeah.
be done? There you go.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
No, there's so much you could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just building out like tools like that took no time.
Yeah.
And
Is
it
Cursor
helped me out a ton.
free or is
No,
it
I mean
paid?
it's another like $20 a month or whatever for me because I'm not doing like, I'm not making applications or full websites. So like I
Yeah.
never really hit the limits. But I like using it over like traditional interfaces because you can do like it has indexing functions.
Mm-hmm.
So like I indexed like the whole like Houdini documentation.
Oh, okay.
And it makes it super easy. So then I can reference anything in there. It'll give me a piece of code like an expression or something. And then I hooked up like Notion to it. And now I have like a database inside of Notion of like all these snippets that I've made like over the past however many months to where
Cool.
it makes a new page of like, here's what this expression does. There's like a code box where I can just copy it in
Yeah.
and then like a sine wave over the course of my timeline. And then there's a spot to like change like how many repetitions there are. Like a bunch of math that I never want to do again. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
saves all that stuff. Or like even today, I was like, I just need like what's the shortest way in Vex to make points stick to like the surface of a geometry. Like I want
Mm-hmm.
the absolute like easiest way, and you know, could figure it out in like 2 seconds.
That's amazing.
Um, yeah, I've been using it a lot for Vex.
That's
Um,
cool.
and just doing that right inline in the code editor has been dope.
Huh. All right.
Um, yeah, a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. 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 Oh man, that's so cool, dude. All right, so we're out of time, but I do want to
Sure,
say thank you for being on the show.
of
Uh,
course.
I'm very influenced and inspired by your work. It's been really cool. We've known each other for a really long time. You know,
Yeah,
we don't get to see each other as much.
I know.
You know, you actually, it's funny. When we first started MoGraph, we were giving away T-shirts, and you won a T-shirt, and
Yeah.
you and me are the only person in the world who have the original OG MoGraph T-shirt,
Oh, that's dope.
unless you
Nice.
threw it away or something like that. I
No, no,
don't know. It's
still got
funny.
it for sure.
Yeah. All right, Nick, where can people find you online if they want to find you?
I'm at underscore NSCR in most places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly like active on X, Twitter,
Yeah.
but Instagram too.
Yeah.
Um,
How do you find the crowd
and
over on X? Is it the same as it used to be?
I don't know, but like I find it's better for me to have like conversations like kind of spaced out. I'm
Uh-huh.
really bad at Discord,
Yeah.
and Slack and everything. Where I can just kind of get back to things on my own time has
Mm-hmm.
been nice. And like just I don't know, I'll just share like whatever I'm working on, like a lot of whips
Yeah.
on X, and it's nice to like just talk to people on there about it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Instagram is basically just a portfolio site now,
Yeah.
so I don't
Yep.
really find it like conducive to like communities at all.
Yeah.
But you know,
You know what's a better
we also
place?
got it. Mm.
MoGraph.com.
Oh, there we go.
We need to get you on.
Find me
Yeah.
there too. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Make sure to follow us on all the socials, especially YouTube and Twitch. We've been doing our Thursday live streams. We'll be back on this week, where we're going to be digging into more Houdini stuff. Excited to try it. Maybe we'll do some cop stuff. That'll be fun.
There you
Yeah,
go.
maybe we'll try and recreate what you did in cops or something. I don't know.
Nice.
We'll see. Yeah, we've got a bunch of fun upcoming guests. Next week is TJ from Dropout TV. Super excited to talk to him about all the stuff that he's been doing. And the way they run their business is very interesting. I think y'all will not want to miss that. And yeah, also, if you haven't done it already, make sure to sign up for your very own MoGraph.com account. It's one-stop shop for everything motion designer needs. Showcase your demo reel, projects you've worked on, post jobs, apply for jobs, sell your digital goods, find meetup groups, or start one of your own, and so much more is planned. We just hit over 850 members, and we are growing every day. We're an artist-first site where your work will always be yours and never fed to the AI machines. So start posting on, ditch those other places. Start posting on MoGraph.com. We don't steal your data. Yeah. Nick, thanks so much for joining us on the show. I appreciate it. So until next time, I'm Matt, and you are Nick, and we're out of here. Later, yo.
Yeah. Thank you.